Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be watching the East Asia monthly finals for the final time this year, because after this, there'll be LCQ and World Finals. So we've got Zeta versus Reject. So this is a very interesting one. I've not had the chance to watch any of the East Asia monthly final. I'll be rewatching a lot of the games after I watch this one, which is weird because I was away yesterday. Basically, I was at the beach, so I just missed everything. So I know what happened beforehand because I checked Twitter, but I just didn't want to check Twitter when these teams played, so I'm unsure on the actual result here. So we see in Zeta, this is why I'm just like really bamboozled with the fact that I know Zeta are good, right? But if you missed it, Sitetampo, he failed the fair play check. So fair play check is done on every single player before the monthly final. If they've account shared, if they've like refunded some gems, if they've just done anything that will get you banned in game, you will miss the monthly final, whatever reason. I don't know what happened with Sitetampo. I'm thinking apparently he gave his device to a family member, or like someone on his family member played on one of his account, like mini accounts or so. I don't know. There was something like that from what I read. I seen a statement from Zeta, and it was actually wild, by the way. Like Zeta gave him like a ban on social media for a couple of weeks or something. I think like I think that's very, very harsh for something that's just like, I don't know, maybe you just slipped up once, right? Like, fair play, you get a bit of a punishment, because like this could have been very, very deciding for their year, Zeta. But anyways, they've got a substitution, Pushu, so Pushu, I think it's Pushu, I'll butcher the pronunciation, but he's a very good player because Zeta have 3-0'd up until this point. So again, a lot of people did have question marks on this roster for Zeta because you're missing your best player. You're missing Sitetampo. Like, you'd automatically presume the team would get worse, but 3-0, if anything, it looked better, weirdly enough. Maybe the pressure's been lifted in that sense, and they're more of a team because you're not relying on your star player. That's how it works in other sports. Like, I don't know whether it'll work in esports. Anyways, let's take a look at the draft then. So Frank into Hank is normally a concern. Frank is pretty good in Brawl, but I don't know, starting to fall down the meta a little bit here. Let's take a look, see what they go as the last pick. So again, I haven't seen the East Asian meta whatsoever. So they go with a Kaze. Okay, Kaze is interesting. I think Kaze is good into everything though. They do need a little bit of pressure. They're probably thinking they don't want, I know, it's definitely because they don't want to face off against a thrower. Because a thrower really destroys Hank most of the time, especially like Dynamite or even like Barley can deal with Charlie as well. So thrower counters both of Charlie and Hank, so that's why they've gone Kaze. Kaze is to counter the thrower, just good for pressure as well in Brawl. Kaze is good into everything. It does like the DPS though, so I'm thinking what Reject could go. They could go with like another tank, but then again, you are feeding a lot of Kaze's hypercharge from that, so we are going to go with a tank. We're going to go with Ash. So the reason why I said that, guys, is because you can like Hank can deal with assassins, but can't really deal with tanks too well. Charlie can, but Kaze again can struggle a lot of times. You're thinking of that composition when you like literally load it into the Brawl game. Like Reject's composition is going to get the first like batch of control. They're going to get the first wave of pressure, and that's what I was thinking of straight away. So let's see if Zeta can do this. Let's see with their substitution. So I think Naipishu was I'm trying to think of, well, it was they were on a team that didn't qualify for this monthly final, of course. So straight away you're thinking like, of course he's a good player, but would he be able to fit into Zeta? It's like, a team that didn't even make the monthly final, surely he can't be that good, and he's a rookie as well. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting choice. So that just goes to show that there's going to be a lot of talent in East Asia that hasn't been picked up on. So Suzuku goes for a really nice play there. I think normally what happens with Frank when he supers, he does actually end up breaking his own goal. So he probably thought that Frank was going to break his own goal and he was going to get a nice goal there, but all is good. Charlie is also really good into Crow, by the way, because of the spiders. Like, Crow has to waste like 2 pieces of ammo to destroy 1 spider, so that's why you see a lot of Charlie into the Crow. Suzuku's already got his hypercharge popped. It does use the super there, a bit of a waste, but do end up getting the goal anyways, which is good for them. I was just trying to think what I was going to say there. Yeah, the problem is here, when you have a double tank composition, is that you are feeding a lot of that Kaze hypercharge, and the Kaze hypercharge is like one of the most broken things inside of the game. But this Ash hypercharge is going to come in. It's just going to overwhelm Levi way too much. Single shot brawler. Ash is good into Charlie, weirdly enough. Like, I know Charlie's a tank counter, but because she's a single shot brawler, Ash's rats can just overwhelm Charlie really easily. So yeah, there is that. Also, Ash counters Hank pretty well. So Aussie's comp isn't that bad at the end of the day. Levi does miss that super. Suzuka goes in for the super himself. He has got another hypercharge to work with. I just think there's too much pressure on the side of Zeta. That's just too overwhelming for Reject to handle. But good control here from Zeta. We always have to back off. Not overcommitting. That's also a thing that happens too often in ranked games. People don't overcommit. They'll get a death in, but it's just better to stay alive. I'm probably a big... I'm probably one of the reasons why I end up throwing in Brawl, because I just go in there to aggro too much. I think, oh, I'll get a respawn in, it's fine, but it's always better just to play your life. So Napushu is using the slow on Hank, which is definitely a good thing, and Zeta are going to score. So yeah, I forgot to mention that as well with Hank. What you normally do as well when you're facing off against one tank, or especially two tanks, just use the slow gadget. It's so good. It's got a really quick gadget timer, so you can just constantly be spamming those slows on the tanks. It's actually really good. That's why Hank again is S tier and better, because he's so adaptable with his gadget builds. I really like brawlers that you can switch gadgets on, and for the longest time, if it weren't for this gadget rework, I don't think the slow gadget on Hank would ever be usable. It just wouldn't, because it's just harder to get value with it. But the slow comes in here, the super comes in as well, and yeah, that is just insane team synergy from Zeta. It's actually crazy. Again, with a substitute, I know a lot of the time, like, if you're a good enough player, you should just be able to perform good, but we're talking about like Rejects winning the monthly final last month, and Zeta with a substitute, which takes a long time to build up synergy. It just does, and Zeta just walked through them like that. Like that is kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. So this is looking very comfortable for Zeta so far. They almost look like the complete package. So yeah, that's gonna be the first set. Let's jump into the next. All right, guys, jumping into the second set here, we've got Knockout Bell's Rock. Let's take a look at the bands. So we see a Kit band, we see a Jean and a Gus band. That's just pretty normal. I think Gus normally isn't banned too often. I'm surprised there's no Grey here. Surely we've got to go Grey to Ollie. That's just a free supercharge and interrupting his super. Ollie first pick as well is pretty wild. Like, Ollie is very good in knockout and in the bounty meta, but I think more so later on in the draft, because you could go again like Grey here, could go RT. You can go somewhere with damage. Bonnie's going to feed a lot of super from this Ollie as well. Bonnie's one of the best brawlers in the game, especially in knockout. So yeah, you can always go with that. Again, I would just go Grey. Surely just go Grey into this. Maybe they're scared of like a Mr. P, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, Grey, you don't want to give him Grey boost. If you go Jae Young, okay, Jae Young's a good choice as well. Because with Jae Young, the really underrated factor here is that Ollie will try and go in with his super, while Jae Young with his super and just his main attack will just be able to escape Ollie's, why is it, bro? Why is his lights flickering like that? It's something out of a horror movie. I thought I was tripping there. Melty with an aura, bro. Melty has infinite aura, like actually infinite aura. As I was saying, Jae Young with the main attack can just escape Ollie pretty easily. So good defensive measures there. They go with a Bell. Okay, so Bell's a pretty good soft counter into, well, actually a pretty good counter into Jae Young, because you can't group up anymore. With Jae Young, you want to group up so you can just get the most benefit out of your main attack, your healing, your speed, your supers. You want to group up. The star power as well works better with, well, it literally works because of you grouping up. So Bell really stops that. And last pick here, if we could go with a throw, but I think they need something to do with its body, especially when it jumps in. Because so far I've got nothing, so we're gonna go with a Berry. I don't really like Berry in knockout, and specifically into Bonnie. I feel like whenever I faced Berry as a Bonnie, it's just a free match. Well, not free matchup, but like you just feeding Bonnie more hypercharge, and there's actually nothing in the reject comp that can really stop a Bonnie hypercharge. I mean, if Ollie uses the other gadget where with your main attack it can pull people in, well, hypnotize them, that could be okay, but that only works after you're stunned, and Bonnie most of the time could just kill you straight away. So they go with Lumi. Okay, Lumi is pretty interesting into this. I don't know what I would have gone personally here. Again, probably could have gone, trying to think, I don't know what else could have really gone into that. I mean, Lumi does make sense though. So Lumi, you can stop them grouping up pretty easily with the ice gadget, and now that is just free pressure. And I don't think there's actually much to really deal with the Lumi. And Lumi's good into Ollie, okay into Bell. I don't mind that composition. I like Zeta's composition again here. It seems like their drafting has got a lot better. I think when Berry was like insane in the meta, knockout was okay for him. I mean, he can be okay, but the problem is, like, he just won't be able to defend himself against Bonnie. It's just no way. I just don't like Reject's composition. Like, with a Bonnie, it's just so important. Bonnie's literally one of the best brawlers in the game, if not the best brawler inside of the game. And in Knockout, like, the way to counter her is just by grouping it up and having, like, some type of knockback, some type of, I don't know, buster that can use star power and stop that kind of, or just stop the stun. So, for me, it's a bit questionable, but here I think the early game is definitely not going to go Zeta's favor here. You can see they are definitely feeling the pain here, but Batman does overextend and he just gets absolutely melted. A great stun there from Levi that allows Napishu to jump in, and that's going to be the round going towards them. So maybe again, I don't know, like, you can never underestimate Zeta, but maybe a lot of teams did underestimate them with a sub. They probably thought, okay, they've got a substitution, we can probably win this in a I don't know what it is, like, in a too of a cocky way, and you can never get cocky into Zeta. So Levi is able to pop Gadget there, and that's going to pressure them a little bit back. Batman already has his hypercharge, and he's just going to group up with the Ollie. The problem here is that Zeta have got a bit of a better positioning, so as long as they stop the berry from pushing them back, that's just the ultimate goal. Like, I think Reject in that position should have really won, but Batman overextended, because once you get them pinched back with a thrower like berry, that attack is just lasted on the ground for so long, it's just too good at zoning. So Levi's doing a great job of just slowly pushing in, and now Napishu has his hypercharge, and that's pretty much going to be GG, like, especially into the bell. Like, just jump on top of a bell and she's just dead completely. But you want to be saving it for as long as possible here. Suzuku's definitely going to get hypnotized here, but that's going to be a free kill for the Bonnie, and now it's a 3 versus 1. I don't even know how Suzuku survived that. Some really good team play with Levi, and yeah, that's going to be it. So yeah, I just don't know what else to really say about that. I just really don't understand Reject's composition. I think normally, again, like, you have the chance, especially when they go Bonnie to, like, they went Bonnie second pick, you've got 2 counter picks there. At least one brawler has to counter Bonnie, so then you can group up and Bonnie can't jump and get the value. But here, like, I just don't really see it, and Ollie just can't really pounce onto a brawler like Bonnie can in that sense. Like, Ollie can, but not against this Jae Young. They've just got a counter to the Ollie, right? So yeah, a bit questionable. So the Ice Gadget just proven to be so strong. Melty gets trapped into that and gets taken down. That is just absolutely hilariously broken. Yeah, still, I'm still complaining about this gadget, guys. It's very, very strong. It's too strong of a gadget to have in a game, in my opinion. But anyway, Zeta just going to push forward. It's just looking like a mismatch, to be honest. It honestly is. I'm very disappointed at the moment. Rejects, I predicted them to win the monthly final because they just looked so good last month, like, really good. And they started to look like not a world final, like, winner contender, but a really solid world's team. And now it just seems like, I don't know, is it a draft? Is it just a pure outskilling? Like, Napishu is playing so well on this Bonnie, not being afraid to make plays. Maybe the pressure is off on you. Like, maybe if if Zeta really needed to win this game, or just win games during the monthly final, then maybe things would have been a little bit different, because coming in as a substitution at that point, it definitely is a lot of pressure. But here comes the hypercharge already from the Bonnie. Again, going to save it as late as possible, just so, like, a lot of times with Bonnie, like, you might get a kill, but you might get traded out a lot of the time. So you want to make sure you're jumping in and your teammates are there to protect you. So Shu's having to use super there just because they're in such a difficult position. Bonnie manages to stay alive here. The jump's going to come in, but not in time, because Zeta, they're going to clean up. So this is honestly one of the easiest sweeps I've seen at the moment. Everything is just working out perfectly. What can I even say? 2-0 to Zeta. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the third set here. We could be seeing another sweep. Imagine if Zeta go 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 with a substitute. That would be not, well, it would be hilarious, but also, like, is Sitetampo a fraud? No, not really. Imagine the scenes. They drop Sitetampo and they go and win World Finals. I don't think they can actually make any roster changes now that they're locked into the World Finals, I believe. Anyways, let's jump into the draft. So, in terms of best first picks here, we have Kit, Lily, and Lumi. So, Lumi is a decent brawler, but I don't think as good as a first pick in EMEA, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely Lily and Kit. You want to be banning those brawlers straight away. Sandyban, Bonnie, and Cordelia's pretty fair overall. So Kaze first pick. Yeah, Kaze is a very, very strong brawler in the meta. So I'm actually wanting to learn this month, specifically myself, what counters Kaze. What do the pros go into a Kaze early pick? So they've gone Draco and Charlie. So Charlie can be pretty decent into Kaze, mainly because the spiders can waste a bit of the ammo in ninja form. And of course, Charlie can outrange the Kaze, has unlimited ammo. So yeah, I think Charlie's a good counter, but Charlie's an S brawler in the meta. I want to see some other ones. Draco's more A tier. So Draco again into Kaze. I think, I don't know, maybe because of the super reduction can help it survive in that against that ninja super. So we see a Crow and a Kenji. So Crow is good in the meta, but question marks, because picking willingly Crow into a Charlie, I don't know about that. There's still Tara that can be played here as well. Tara would be good into both of these brawlers. We have, what else is good? Maybe like an Ashe into both of these. Maybe, I don't know. There's got to be a pick. They're definitely going to go, yeah, Tara. Okay, they're going to go Tara into this. See? I know, Bull. No, but it's obvious, right? Like, Crow struggles so much against Charlie. Why not just have a second brawler with the pets as well? Like, it's just renowned to countering Crow. Crow's going to get so overwhelmed. He's very good in the meta, right? But in a 1 versus 1 here, like, clearly thinking maybe a reject for, okay, they're not going to go Charlie mid, but Charlie mid is one of the best mids in Gem Grab right now. So if you put in Crow mid versus Charlie mid, there's obviously only going to be one winner there, and it's going to be Charlie. And Tara, although like Tara doesn't like disgracefully counter a Kenji or a Kaze, like both of these assassins can beat a Tara, but once you feed in Tara's super, hypercharge, etc., it's just going to be too much for the opponents to deal with. So again, I really like Zeta's composition. I really do. Okay, he's not even using the spider's gadget here. I guess he's facing off against 2 assassins, so it kind of makes sense here. But I would have presumed you would have just gone for the spider's gadget and just overwhelmed the Crow 24/7. But hey, I'm learning things here. Maybe the 2 assassins, I guess, I think it does make sense actually when you think about it. Like, you've already got Tara for the pets against the Crow, so probably didn't want to overkill. And a Kaze and a Kenji into a Charlie, like, you can do this, and like literally that gadget has just saved him. Like, that gadget just saved him so well, because it allows his teammates to come and help him, like, once he comes out of the cocoon, just like that with that Tara pull. Like, I'm just very surprised how everything just seems to be working out for Zeta here, no matter what. So Hypercharge going to come in here, and another gadget. This is what I mean against that Kenji super. I think I highlighted this in monthly qualifiers, or it was last monthly finals, where if the Charlie gem carry used this gadget, it would have saved him so much against the Kenji. So you can see here that Zeta have brain cells, and yeah, it's looking pretty easy for them. Wow, that Charlie gadget is really good in Gem Grab. I need to start using that a lot more myself. I swear this always happens when Charlie becomes meta, that gadget becomes underrated. There's just something about it with survivability. It's more so the fact you can normally go this gadget when there's like pierce brawlers, so you don't get any value out of spiders, but they're just going it because it's great for surviving, and literally twice it saved them. And in this Gem Grab meta, I think this is a main point that I made in the video the other day. With hypercharges, it's just impossible to face off against. It's not skillful whatsoever, and hypercharges should be heavily nerfed for this reason, because you have brawlers like Kaze, you have Lily, normally you have Mortis, you have Kenji, you have all of these assassins and tanks that can just, no matter what, like, they'll be doing terrible the whole game. Well, it doesn't matter, because they'll build up their purple button and they can just go on their enemy gem carrier and just win the game. That's nearly what happened there. So that's why in this meta you need like a mid brawler that has some survivability and some way to get away from these hypercharge brawlers. So Crow is actually a good mid here. Charlie's a good one. You see trying to think of other mids like Jay Young, for example. Gus is good at surviving because he has a lot of HP. That's why like Jean's not good as a gem carrier really anymore, because he just hasn't got a DPS to really help him out too much. That's why like you don't see snipers anymore, is what I'm trying to say. Like hypercharge has just completely ruined Gem Grab in my opinion, completely ruined it. All right, enough waffling. We see like Draco's just doing insane into Kenji. I'm always unsure who wins that matchup overall. Like a lot of times Kenji can win that matchup, but then you also feed in like each other hypercharges and stuff. I think it just comes down to who's the better player, because again, like there's always this question mark on who counters Frank, Kenji. Like, does Kenji win that or does Frank win that? I'm just waffling at a minute, because at the moment Zeta are just way too better. They're just dominating. But as I said that, Reject get the robbery. Daylight robbery. I thought they were just about to, like, not even allow Reject to win a thing. Have Reject even won a single round so far? They might finally get one on their board. Hypercharge coming in from Batman. That should be able to... Okay, he uses it to get away. I mean, I think that is enough to win the round. Okay, it kind of makes sense. Batman's going to pick up the remaining gems. Okay, it's very, very hard to make a comeback in gem grab. It just is. So now Charlie's probably going to die once she respawns in. Let's actually give her a little bit of surviving. Unless... Yeah, okay, Kenji's just going to completely destroy him. Okay, so Reject actually managed to win a round. This could be the most disgusting reverse sweep of all time, and it could be literally just jinxing them. They, how are they, like, laughing so much here? Like, they won a round. Like, I guess it's because of daylight robbery. That's what I like about teams, is when they can still, like, have a joke and laugh even when they're losing. That's a sign of a good team mentality, by the way. Like, in a way, I'm like, how are they laughing? Because I would be just... well, not silent, but I'll be raging right now. I'd be like, that we are about to get swept. We only just won that one. Let's lock in. But they're just having a time of their life. But it's all about good vibes. Mentality is a big thing in esports. So we can see already the Draco's just winning the Kenji matchup so frequently. But it comes down to, like, I wouldn't mind if I was a Kenji, because I'm getting a lot of supercharge from this Draco overall. That's why, again, he's just going in time and time again. Kenji's just working to get his hypercharge at this point. But... that it's a risky strategy. It's a really risky strategy. So now Pichu again manages to, like, he's surviving so well here. Doesn't manage to get the kill, but 1 HP for the longest time. That's a lot of time wasted for Reject. But Rejects are looking a little bit better here. They've finally got some control. Tara's super here could be pretty devastating for anyone. You've got to be careful into a Kenji, sorry. And Kenji actually survives that, weirdly enough. Levi goes down as well. This is looking really good for Reject. Hypercharge wasted from Napishu. And here he's in a good spot, though. He's in behind. Very, very good spot. Tara hypercharge as well. Melty's stuck in a really tough spot. And that's not a good Crow super, is it? I don't know how he managed to be over that way. That just looked... I'll have to rewatch that back. Is it the pinch from Napishu? I think it might have been from the Draco forcing him to go that way, but the missed Crow jump and just a hypercharged Tara super just being too powerful there in that moment. He just didn't go far enough back into spawn. So Batman wins that 1v1 versus Tara. Pretty interesting. Draco gets in some insane damage into the Kenji, but now you gotta be careful. Kenji hypercharge is here. I don't know how close Tara is to super, but she definitely needs it pretty soon. Batman's gonna push up. The pinch might come in here. The Tara's super is wasted completely because Batman can just get away. Shu doesn't get enough value with a Kenji hypercharge, but it's starting to really rack up the damage. Yeah, oh, okay, good dodge there from Napishu as well. The countdown's going to go to the side of Reject. Shu probably went in a bit too aggro there. Nearly got the kill onto Levi, but in the end, that might not be enough. It does actually respawn in time, though. But here comes a hypercharge from Levi. Does manage to dash away. Batman. Shu can get another gem as well, but that's not going to be enough. The gems are split way too much on the side of Reject. And here comes the Draco hypercharge, just dealing so much damage. Everybody is weak on the side of Reject, but now Zeta have control. And they just need the next... gem, maybe? No, they need another one. Yeah. I'm gonna say they might need like 2 gems to actually stop the countdown, but this might go the distance here. What a sweaty game. This is just how messy gem grab is at the moment. So hypercharge is gonna come in on Shu. Shu can't get his super off in time, and that surely is going to be Zeta sweeping the grand finals. There's nothing that Reject can do, and that is insane. You gotta give props to everybody on Zeta today. You really have. That is such an insane achievement. Wow, that is such an insane achievement. Crazy. Like, imagine the aura coming in as a rookie and just sweeping that, like, winning your first monthly final, just sweeping that's just insane. Honestly, big props to Zeta. I'm happy for them, very happy. I'm very happy for Levi and Sasuke, because maybe they obviously haven't been getting their flowers enough, because the headlines are always on Sitetampo, but this is living proof that these guys are insane. They're not getting carried. These are brutally insane players. I've always known Levi and Sasuke to be amazing players, but honestly, I even had my question marks without Sitetampo, so they've shut all the haters up. Insane display here, and they're obviously looking really strong towards the World Finals now. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope hope you enjoyed. A bit anticlimactic in the sense like we got a 3-0, but I'm honestly glad it was a 3-0 because it made such a good storyline for that reason. So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time.